cuffing season. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sarah and we are here with CatholicMatch talking all things dating and relationships. Today we're going to dive into cuffing season, what it is and how we can essentially try and battle it the best we can as single people. Cuffing season typically starts, if you don't know, around November 1st, just after Halloween, maybe around Halloween. And it goes until, you're through the major holidays into Valentine's Day. Typically what happens is people get together in early November so that they don't have to be alone over the holidays. They don't have to go through any holiday season alone. And then they get to February and Valentine's Day is coming up and they realize they actually aren't that serious and they break up. And you're left with maybe a little bit of emptiness or a feeling of regret. Like, I just totally invested myself into someone else, however much you did, maybe a lot, maybe a little, but invested nonetheless. And now it's over. And what was that for? So that I didn't have to be alone during the holidays. And I totally understand, do not want to underestimate how difficult it is when Aunt Karen and Uncle Chris are so inappropriate or rude with different things that they can say to you. I totally understand that family members have a way of bringing up topics around the holidays that maybe they just are trying to know more about you, but you've had these questions been asked to you year and year again, and you're kind of overhearing it or very overhearing it, and you just don't want to hear it anymore. So you do your best to get into a relationship with someone so you can go through the holiday season in a relationship and you can answer those questions that you've been getting with different answers this year, answers that maybe satisfy those people a little bit more who are asking them. And you can also feel less alone because the holidays can be really difficult for some people. And the last thing anyone wants to feel is alone. So I totally understand where people are coming from in this, but I want to pose a few questions for some personal reflection when it comes to this and entering into this. Number one, it is not you. You are not the problem here. It is really difficult. It's really difficult to go through sentimental seasons of the year, especially with family around, or, maybe this year's been a really hard year and there aren't people around that have usually been around in the past, and that's gonna be really, really difficult for you. And you are in a place where you're not happy with your relationship status. You don't want it to be the way it is. That also doesn't mean, though, that you want to talk about the way it is to other people. Why are you trying to look for a relationship? Is it because you really, really want to be in one? Or is it because you want to push away from not being in one? Because if it's the fact that you really, really want to be in one, I say that that's a really, really good desire and that you should pursue that. And then I'm sure you already are. But if it's because you are simply running away from being single, that is not a good enough reason to put your heart or your emotions through that kind of turmoil, especially trying to find someone else to do the same thing. I think that it looks really pretty on the outside to be in a relationship for a few months to get through sometimes that could be isolating or that could be difficult. But the truth is, you just don't know how this holiday season is going to go. Maybe this year you can work to personally identify some different triggers that you have when you feel really isolated, and you can work to combat those. You can make sure that at least once, twice, 3 times a week, you're going out in public and you're seeing friends or you're seeing family. You're making that phone call. You're writing a letter to a friend that you aren't going to see this year who's, off traveling abroad or in a different part of the country. And you can identify different things where this is what makes me feel really, really isolated. I'm going to do my best to combat that. How am I going to do that? Well, I have to look at what is initially bothering me. Is it, spending all day alone in my home where I haven't been doing anything? Is it talking to certain people about relationship statuses and how things are going? Is it seeing other people on social media and their fantastic relationships and picture perfect winter wonderland pictures? Look at what is bothering you and do your best to combat that. Because if it's social media, maybe you take a socials break. Maybe you restrict it. Maybe you say, I'm not going to scroll. Maybe you unfollow 300 people that you just don't really keep up with anymore. You just scroll past and you commit to only following those you actually check into and talk with and want to keep up with over socials. If it's that you're dreading conversation with family, maybe you reach out to another family member that you're close with to always be with you during the holidays, to kind of be your backup, maybe even your defense of bringing up another topic as soon as Aunt Karen brings up a relationship status again. I just want to offer to you that you can break the cycle of cuffing season this year. You can and are fully capable of avoiding the emotional turmoil that you add to it in somehow trying to run away from emotional turmoil in the first place. I know it sounds ironic, and it is, that in running away from negative emotions, you actually end up running straight towards even more of them. And so I just want to invite you this season to know that this holiday season will be okay, and that you will be okay. And that there are things that you can do to reach out, to feel not so alone, and to avoid heartache come February, because you are better than worthless heartache. Heartache for heartache's sake. That is not something that you want to enter into. That is not something that you want to participate in. There are so many other things going on in today's world. There is so much noise already in our minds and our hearts, and you don't need to enter into cuffing season in a relationship just so you're in one and not out of one. That it is okay where you are right now. It is a good thing where you are right now, because you're doing great and you're doing a lot better than you think you are, and you don't need a boyfriend to get through the holidays. All that being said, my name is Sarah. Make sure you're turning on notifications here on YouTube. Give this video a like if you enjoyed the content. Leave me a comment below on your thoughts and how cuffing season has been for you in the past, how it's going to be for you this year, anything that you'd like me to dive deeper into. We read all the comments. Give us also a follow over on Instagram, because there's tons of content over there as well, and I'd love to see you there. Have a great day.